inner sanctum of Elvis Presley's private world, his bedroom at Graceland, has long been shrouded in mystery. But now, the staff who worked at his estate are finally breaking their silence and revealing details about what they saw inside. But what bizarre truths have been exposed? And how will these revelations change Elvis's legacy? Join us to find out. The beautiful story of Graceland. Graceland is a beautiful mansion sitting quietly on a hill, surrounded by peaceful meadows and tall old oak trees. This lovely home was designed by two architects from Memphis named Furbringer and Hermanis. It was built in a style called Colonial Revival, and it stands tall with 2 stories and a grand front porch in the middle. The roof is covered with simple asphalt shingles, but it adds a touch of charm to the house. On both the north and south sides of the mansion, there are small 1-story wings, and one of these has an extra space attached to it. This was once a big garage, where Elvis could park 4 cars. Inside Graceland, there are 23 rooms in total. 8 of these are cozy bedrooms, each with its own bathroom. When you step through the front door into the entryway, a bright mirrored staircase catches your eye. It leads to the 2nd floor, but this part of the house is closed to visitors. That upstairs space holds special memories of Elvis Presley and his family. It also includes the bathroom, where Elvis sadly passed away. Out of love and respect, this area has remained untouched ever since. From the entrance hall, you can turn to the right and find the living room. This room feels warm and welcoming. A long white couch stretches across the space facing the front yard. 2 smaller white sofas sit nearby, ready for guests. A fireplace stands against one wall, with a beautiful mirrored wall behind it, making the room feel even bigger and brighter. There's a china cabinet filled with precious pieces and a very special painting hanging on one side. This painting was the last Christmas gift Elvis received from his father, Vernon. The walls here are decorated with photographs of Elvis with his parents and his daughter, Lisa Marie, giving the room a soft, personal feel. Next to the living room is the music room. You'll know it by the colorful stained glass peacocks in the doorway. Inside, there's a shiny black baby grand piano and an old-fashioned TV from the 1950s. This was once a joyful place, filled with music and laughter when Elvis was alive. Close to the music room is a bedroom that belonged to Elvis's parents. This room glows with bright white walls, carpets, and furniture. In the middle is a queen-sized bed, covered with a rich dark purple velvet blanket. The attached bathroom is calm and pretty, with soft pink colors everywhere. People come from all over the world to see Graceland. Many visitors are excited just to walk through the house of the King of Rock and Roll. When guests arrive, they're given headphones that guide them through the mansion while telling stories about Elvis's life, his kindness, his struggles, his music, and his faith. One of the most touching places at Graceland is the Meditation Garden. This is where Elvis Presley is buried. People gather here to pray, reflect, or quietly hum his songs. Along the wall that circles the mansion, fans have written sweet messages, thanking Elvis for his music, sending him love, or asking for his blessings. Since it opened as a museum in 1982, Graceland has welcomed thousands of visitors each year. Each person arrives with their own memories, their own stories, and their own love for the man who changed music forever. Graceland stood as Elvis's image that made even highly esteemed individuals visit. The famous faces who came to Graceland. Graceland is not just a house. It's a place filled with memories, music, and beautiful stories. Every year, people who love Elvis Presley travel from all over the world to visit his special home in Memphis. Some come to see where he once lived, others visit to feel closer to him. Many arrive just to remember the joy his songs brought into their lives. And every year, on the day Elvis passed away, something truly magical happens. Fans gather in front of Graceland for a quiet and touching candlelight ceremony. It's a peaceful moment where people of all ages hold candles and walk together, side by side, to honor his memory. For many, it feels like they're visiting a sacred place, a spot where his spirit lives on through his music and the memories he left behind. Over the years, Graceland has welcomed many famous faces, Right after Elvis's death, the staff kept a simple, unofficial list of the famous people who came to pay their respects. One of the first to visit was the legendary boxer Muhammad Ali, who shared a close friendship with Elvis. Not long after, musician Paul Simon stopped by. That visit inspired his famous song Graceland, which later became the title of a Grammy-winning album. As time went on, many important leaders and royals made their way to Graceland. In 2006, Japan's Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi toured the house with the U.S. President George W. Bush, marking a rare meeting between world leaders at a private American home. In 2010, Prince Albert II of Monaco and his fiancée, Charlene Wittstock, stopped by during a vacation in the U.S. The famous musician Paul McCartney also visited in 2013. Even members of the British royal family couldn't resist the charm of Graceland. In 2014, Prince William and Prince Harry visited while in Memphis for a friend's wedding. Through the years, Graceland has seen visits from President Jimmy Carter, music legend Bob Dylan, and the late Duchess of Devonshire as well. Despite being loved by many even after death, criticism and controversies found a way to surround his life while he was still alive. What controversies were these? How did he navigate through it? Let's find out. The rumors that followed Elvis Presley. In 1957, even though many African Americans admired Elvis Presley, a troubling rumor started to spread. People began saying that Elvis had made a hurtful comment about black people, claiming they were only good for buying his records and shining his shoes. This rumor upset a lot of people and made some question who Elvis truly was. Louis Robinson, a journalist from the well-known African-American magazine Jet, decided to find out the truth. At the time, Elvis was busy filming Jailhouse Rock and wasn't giving interviews to anyone. But he made an exception for Louis. During their talk, Elvis strongly denied ever saying such a thing. He spoke kindly about African-American musicians, saying they were the heart of rock and roll long before he became famous. Elvis believed black artists had a special gift for creating this kind of music and always gave them credit for their influence. After carefully looking into the claim, Robinson couldn't find any proof that Elvis had made the offensive remark. Many people who knew Elvis personally defended him, saying he wasn't the kind of person to say something like that. Blues singer Ivory Joe Hunter, who had heard the gossip before visiting Graceland, met Elvis and called him gentle and kind. Still, even after the rumor was proven false, it lingered and followed Elvis for years. Some people continued to hold on to this idea because of how Elvis became famous. He gained success in a music style deeply rooted in African American culture, while many talented black artists struggled to gain fame and financial security. Elvis thrived in the spotlight. This unfairness left a lasting sense of bitterness for some. Even today, there are people who believe Elvis unfairly took credit for black music. But not everyone agreed with that view. Famous entertainers like Jackie Wilson defended Elvis, pointing out that many black performers also admired and copied some of his stage moves. Elvis often spoke openly about how much African American music shaped his sound, whether it was gospel, rhythm and blues, or early rock and roll. While people argued about these things, some critics focused on Elvis's stage image. Though he was often promoted as a handsome heartthrob, a few writers believed his dancing mixed both strong and gentle charm. His bold moves in Jailhouse Rock made some people feel he was breaking the old rules of what a man was supposed to act like in those days. At the same time, rumors about Elvis's love life filled the gossip magazines. Stories about his relationships with famous actresses were everywhere. According to June Juanico, a former girlfriend, Elvis's manager, Colonel Parker, sometimes pushed him to date well-known women just for publicity. But even though Elvis looked like a Hollywood star, he was never fully comfortable with that world, and many of his celebrity romances quietly ended. After Elvis passed away in 1977, a new rumor began that he had faked his death and was secretly living somewhere far away. Over the years, fans claimed to spot him alive. These supposed sightings turned into jokes, funny stories, and wild guesses. While a few people believed them at first, By the 1990s, most had let go of the idea. The many loves of Elvis Presley. At the start of his career, Elvis met June Juanico, a fan from Biloxi, Mississippi, in 1955. Their love grew after he performed in her town. June was drawn to Elvis's kindness and charm, and they shared happy times together. But as Elvis became more famous, things changed. His manager, Colonel Tom Parker, wanted him to be seen with famous actresses and glamorous showgirls. By the end of 1956, Elvis brought one of these showgirls home, which broke June's heart. Sad but strong, June decided to let go and move on. In 1956, Elvis also had a romance with actress Natalie Wood. At first, things seemed good, but trouble came after Natalie met Elvis's parents, Vernon and Gladys. Gladys didn't like Natalie's easygoing style and the way she dressed. Natalie felt overwhelmed by how close Elvis was to his mother. This tension caused them to break up. Soon after, Elvis met Anita Wood. He saw her on a TV show called Top 10 Dance Party, and they started dating. Even when Elvis went to Germany for the army in 1958, their love stayed strong. But then Priscilla came into the picture. Elvis tried to comfort Anita, but she realized his relationship with Priscilla was serious. One day, Anita overheard Elvis and his father talking about choosing between the two women. Hurt and heartbroken, Anita left, knowing there was no going back. In 1959, Elvis met Priscilla in Germany while serving in the military. He was 24 and she was just 14. They met at a party and Priscilla was instantly drawn to him. At first, her parents worried about her dating a big star like Elvis, but they finally agreed. After Elvis returned to the U.S. in 1960, they stayed close through letters and phone calls. In 1962, Priscilla visited Elvis in Los Angeles. By 1963, she moved to Graceland in Memphis, with her parents' permission, on the condition that Elvis would marry her. He did. He proposed just before Christmas in 1966, and they married the next year. In February 1968, their daughter Lisa Marie Presley was born. Though Elvis and Priscilla seemed perfect, their marriage had problems. Elvis was unfaithful, rumored to have affairs with Connie Stevens, Anne Margaret, and Barbara Lee. His relationship with Anne Margaret was especially tense. Though she admitted they had a strong bond, Elvis found it hard to stay faithful. Priscilla wasn't perfect either. Over time, she grew tired of Elvis's behavior, his substance abuse, and quick temper. She too admitted to cheating. In 1972, they decided to separate and divorce the next year. After the divorce, Elvis found comfort with Linda Thompson, a young actress and beauty queen. They met in Memphis in 1972, and their love grew quickly. Linda had dreamed of marrying Elvis, but the same problems that hurt his marriage also hurt their relationship. Linda got tired of Elvis's harmful habits and cheating. She realized his wild lifestyle wasn't good for her or her family. Sadly, she left him in 1976, just months before he passed away. The last woman in Elvis's life was Ginger Alden, a young actress. They met in late 1976, when Elvis invited Ginger and her sisters to his home. Elvis and Ginger felt an instant spark and got engaged within 2 months. Ginger stayed by his side in his final months. Sadly, their story didn't end with a breakup, but with Elvis's sudden death in August 1977. Elvis Presley's love life was full of deep feelings and heartbreak. He often fell in love quickly, but had trouble keeping a lasting relationship. The women who loved him treasured their time with Elvis, but often left feeling hurt. Behind the fame and fortune, Elvis was a man searching for true love and happiness, something he never quite found. So what was the king of rock and roll's final months like? Was it evident that something was wrong? Stick with us. The final days of Elvis Presley. At the start of 1977, Elvis Presley was not the shining star everyone once knew. His bright energy had dimmed, and he wasn't the lively performer who used to light up every stage. He had gained weight, and his mind was foggy because of all the medicines he was taking every day. The man who once wowed millions now struggled just to finish his shows. His concerts lost their excitement, and it was hard for people to watch. Fans could see the tiredness and confusion in his eyes, and it made them sad to see their hero like this. During one show in Alexandria, Louisiana, Elvis's singing was unclear, and his words barely made sense. He couldn't stay on stage long before it was obvious he was having a hard time. On March 33rd, he was supposed to perform in Baton Rouge, but his weak health kept him in bed. Many of his shows, including that one, had to be moved to later dates. Even though Elvis was not well, he tried hard to keep up with his tour. The people closest to him knew he wasn't himself anymore. Fans felt heartbroken to see their beloved singer struggling, but Elvis seemed not to notice the worries around him. He spent most of his time alone in his room, finding comfort in spiritual books. Elvis's cousin, Billy Smith, remembered the quiet times they spent together. Elvis would sit for hours, sharing old jokes, treasured memories, and sometimes the fears that haunted him. King of rock and roll was now a quiet, thoughtful man, often alone with his thoughts. In June 1977, Elvis released his last single, Way Down. Around that time, CBS filmed 2 of his live shows for a TV special called Elvis in Concert. The first show, in Omaha on June 19th, was hard to watch. Elvis's voice was weak. Sometimes he just spoke the words instead of singing, and he struggled to hit the notes. 2 days later, in Rapid City, South Dakota, Elvis seemed a little better. He looked thinner, and his voice sounded stronger at first. But as the night went on, sweat poured down his face, and his swollen cheeks showed how much pain he was in. His very last concert was on June 26, 1977, in Indianapolis. That was the final time he stood in front of a crowd. A few weeks later, a book called Elvis, What Occurred, was published. Written by 3 of his former bodyguards, it revealed the harsh truth about Elvis's battle with medication abuse. The book upset Elvis deeply, and he tried to stop it from coming out, but it was too late. By then, Elvis's health was failing fast. He had many problems like glaucoma, high blood pressure, liver trouble, and a swollen colon. The medicines he took only made things worse. His last public outing was in the early morning hours of August 8, 1977. He rented an amusement park in Memphis and invited a few close friends. It was his way of holding on to some joy in the last days of his life. Sunset at Graceland. One of the most famous people in the world passed away on August 16, 1977. Elvis Presley was only 42 years old when he passed away in the bathroom of his beloved home, Graceland. His death shocked fans everywhere. At first, doctors said he passed away from a sudden heart problem called cardiac arrhythmia, but later they found out that many different medications in his body played a big part in his death. 14 different medicines were found, including a dangerous amount of codeine, showing how serious his condition was. Elvis was buried in a huge copper coffin that weighed almost a ton. The coffin was placed near the front of Graceland so fans could come and say goodbye. More than 3,500 people quietly walked by, all feeling the deep sadness of losing their hero too soon. A private funeral was held at Graceland 2 days after Elvis passed away. On August 18th, about 200 people came, including family, close friends, and special guests. Elvis's coffin sat next to a beautiful stained glass door in the music room. The ceremony was a quiet, heartfelt farewell to the man whose music once filled every corner of the house with joy. But tragedy didn't stop there. Outside the gates, a car lost control and crashed into a crowd of fans gathered to honor Elvis. 2 young girls passed away in the accident, and a third was badly hurt. This made the day even more painful for everyone. After the funeral, about 80,000 people lined the streets to watch Elvis's body being taken to Forest Hill Cemetery. He was buried next to his mother, Gladys Presley. Fans threw flowers, said their last goodbyes, and cried openly. In the weeks that followed, his final song, Way Down, climbed to the top of the music charts in both the UK and the United States. It became a touching tribute to the king of rock and roll. A few weeks later, something shocking happened. Someone tried to steal Elvis's body. Because of this, Elvis and his mother were moved to a safer spot inside Graceland. On October 2nd, they were reburied in the Meditation Garden, a peaceful part of the estate that became their permanent resting place. Today, the Meditation Garden is not just Elvis's final home. His parents, Vernon and Gladys Presley, his grandmother Minnie Mae Presley, his daughter Lisa Marie Presley, and his grandson Benjamin Keogh are also buried there. There is even a memorial stone for Jesse Garon, Elvis's twin brother, who passed away at birth. Visitors can see this quiet garden during mansion tours or early in the morning before tours start. Right after Elvis passed away, an autopsy was done in Memphis by medical examiner Jerry Francisco. He quickly said heart failure caused the death and ruled out medications. But some people doubted this. Later tests showed high levels of many medications in Elvis's body. Some doctors thought these medications might have caused a serious allergic reaction or damaged his heart. Other experts later looked into the case and had different opinions. Some believed a dangerous mix of medicines caused his death, while others thought his long-term health problems were to blame. Elvis had an enlarged heart for years, and combined with his substance abuse, this likely led to his sudden passing. There was also suspicion about the doctors who treated Elvis. One doctor gave Elvis over 10,000 pills in just 8 months in 1977. Though he was cleared of crimes, his medical license was taken away for a time and then lost forever. Now let's see the message from the staff of Elvis. What did they see in his bedroom? Let's find out. The staff's message. Graceland stands as a quiet and beautiful reminder of Elvis Presley's extraordinary life. Every year, thousands of people travel to his famous home in Memphis, Tennessee. As they walk through its bright hallways, they see his sparkling jumpsuits and the shining gold records on the walls. But there is one special room that no visitor has ever seen. Elvis's own bedroom tucked away on the upper floor. The door stays closed, the curtains are always drawn, and a calm silence wraps around that part of the house. It has been left untouched ever since Elvis left this world. For many years, fans have wondered about the secrets behind that simple door at Graceland. The people who work there have mostly kept quiet about what's inside, but lately, some have gently shared little hints without giving too much away. They speak softly about the peaceful feeling of the room and the small details they notice while caring for it. People say the bedroom feels like time has stopped. Everything looks exactly as it did when Elvis last left it. The bed is perfectly made with crisp sheets and pillows, just the way he liked them. On the nightstand, a simple lamp shines softly next to a book Elvis was reading and a pair of his sunglasses. In the corner, a record player sits quietly with some of his favorite vinyl records leaning against it. The room holds a special kind of magic because of the personal things scattered around. Fans have sent letters, some unopened, which rest near his favorite chair. Some believe Elvis read these letters during restless nights, finding comfort in the love from his fans. Others think these notes were like a warm hug for him when times were tough. One of the most touching things the staff has noticed is the room's quietness. While Graceland often buzzes with footsteps and soft music, Elvis's bedroom feels calm and still. No one speaks loudly there. It's a place where time seems to pause, and some even say they feel Elvis's spirit gently watching over his belongings. There are stories about private recordings Elvis kept hidden. Deep in Graceland, a dusty old box waited quietly among other forgotten treasures. On the box, faded writing said, "Practice Sessions, 1976." It had been hidden for almost 50 years. When archivists carefully opened it, they discovered something incredible, a set of old reel-to-reel tapes no one had heard before. Listening to those tapes was a special moment. These weren't finished songs made for fans or albums. Instead, they showed a private side of Elvis, singing softly all alone. His voice was gentle as he tried out gospel songs, smooth blues, and even new sounds using an early synthesizer. It was clear he was searching for something new, something different, a sound all his own. Sadly, he never got to share this music with the world. One recording stood out above the rest. Elvis sang Unchained Melody with only his raw, heartfelt voice. His singing was full of feeling, sometimes trembling, sometimes breaking. It sounded like a goodbye, a quiet farewell. This recording was made shortly before he passed away, a private musical message straight from his heart. In drawers, old cassette tapes lie hidden, maybe holding songs he hummed late at night or thoughts he recorded when alone. Out of respect, no one has dared to listen to them. They believe these moments were meant just for Elvis. Still, the staff often wonders, what's on those tapes? Unreleased songs? Loving messages to family and friends? The mystery remains locked in silence. The room is kept neat and tidy, but nothing is changed. Every item stays just where Elvis left it, almost as if waiting for him to come back. Many who work there say they feel a kind and warm presence, a soft echo of the man who once filled the space with dreams, music, and happiness. Though the full story of Elvis's private bedroom might never be told, the small memories shared by those who care for Graceland show a softer, sweeter side of the legend. This room is not just a place. It's a treasure chest filled with memories, letters full of love, and emotions left unspoken. For fans all over the world, knowing that this room stays just as Elvis left it is comforting. It's a special part of his life that remains safe and undisturbed. This keeps his spirit alive in a way that no concert ever could. And maybe, just maybe, that was exactly what Elvis wanted. How Elvis Presley changed music and culture forever. When Elvis Presley's song, "That's All Right," first played on Memphis's WHBQ radio, many listeners were surprised to find out that the singer was white. His voice and style were full of energy and deeply influenced by African American music. Despite the tough times with racial tension, Elvis always showed respect and love for black musicians and their art. He didn't care about the rules society made. He focused on the music, the people, and the culture that inspired him. As a child, Elvis looked up to blues singer Arthur Crudup, who wrote "That's All Right." Elvis was amazed by Arthur's performances and dreamed of making music that touched people's hearts, just like Arthur did. He wanted to become a musician who could make others feel strong emotions through his songs. Back then, Memphis had strict rules about where people could go based on the color of their skin. But Elvis didn't follow those rules. He was even seen at a local theme park on their special Colored Night, something few white stars would have dared to do. These brave actions made Elvis loved by many in the black community, and they welcomed him warmly as he rose to fame. But not everyone liked Elvis. Many white adults didn't approve of him. Some thought his music was too different, and others didn't like that rock and roll came from African American roots. Many parents couldn't understand this new sound, and Elvis's look and stage moves made them uncomfortable. His performances were full of energy, charm, and boldness. His voice, dancing, and style left a strong impression on everyone watching. People often said Elvis was very handsome, one of the most attractive men they had ever seen. Even those who didn't care for his music found themselves drawn to his charm. He had a special sparkle that made him stand out wherever he went. Elvis's powerful presence on stage helped make him a legend. He could take a simple love song and turn it into something full of feeling that touched listeners everywhere. While many remember him as the king of rock and roll, his talent went far beyond fast, exciting songs. He was just as good at singing soft, emotional ballads that moved people deeply. His tender and heartfelt melodies left marks on the hearts of fans then, and still do today. Elvis's music brought people together from all walks of life. He showed how music can break down walls between races and connect everyone. Many famous black musicians praised Elvis for opening doors that had once been closed. Because of him, their music reached new places and new fans. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.